Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are renovating the Goth house. I just wanted to renovate the Goth house because I like the family and I think their storyline is interesting. But I don't even know if you can call it a renovation because I didn't even keep any of the actual shell. I think I ended up bulldozing the entire thing because after deleting the furniture and trying to look at the layout of the house, I figured it was too difficult to work with. And I just tried to make my own shell that kind of resembled the Goth house in some way and had the same vibe. And to do this, I used this same style of furniture that they had in the previous house. I kept some of it in the household inventory and I just built my own house. This house is kind of inspired off of Victorian houses. I just looked some up on Pinterest and got some inspiration for them. It kind of took me a long time to build because I'm not really used to building this style of house. It took me 7 hours to build, which is actually a long time because it's not that big of a house. But I also had a bunch of issues with the roofing and the balconies and stuff because the roofs kept cutting into the balconies, so I had to stretch it out but not stretch it out so that the fence wouldn't be cut off, if that makes sense. It was really complicated. And the columns and the friezes kept getting messed up and stuff. I don't know why it was messing up so much. I kind of wanted the house to look slightly similar to the original house, but I changed a lot of it because there's a lot of stuff about the original house that I didn't like. For example, I didn't like the bricks used on the exterior of the house. It looked okay, but it didn't look great for the entire house, if that makes sense. And I didn't like the window choice. They chose to add these brown windows from the base game. They're the really large ones, and I don't like them because they come in brown and it kind of looks weird to put brown windows on black brick. But whatever, I just changed it in this one. And it kind of sucks because there's not many, I don't even think there's any black windows. So I had to use these white, kind of Victorian styled windows, I guess. I'm not sure if it's actually Victorian, but yeah, that's what I used. And I don't think they super matched the Gothic vibe, but since it kind of matched the Victorian style I was going for, I thought it was okay. And I think too much black overdoes the Gothic look. And I kind of wanted to combine the Gothic look with the Victorian style so it wouldn't be too much. And that's also why the house isn't super black and red. I think the original was more red than this one. This one I think I mostly just made the bathrooms and maybe the master bedroom red, whereas the other rooms are more muted tone, I guess. Yeah, and there are some things about the furniture that I changed. For example, they had brown cabinets, but I just changed it to black to obviously match the more Gothic vibe. I kept the same dining table and the same dining chairs and the couch and fireplace and things like that. I also made sure to not add a lot of electronics, I think, because the original house didn't have that many. It didn't have a TV or anything. I think I just added 2 computers instead because Cassandra had a tablet, but I thought that was kind of useless. And it said that Mortimer was a writer, so I figured he needed a computer, so that's why I added that. And yeah, I just used a lot of the same stuff, the bookshelves and everything like that. Also, I don't know if you saw just then, but I put Alexander's bedroom in the tower, both the first and the second floor. I connected it with a ladder. It's kind of small, actually, but I think it's okay for a kid, to be honest. If I had a tower to live in as a kid, I think I'd be fine because that seems pretty cool. But yeah, it's kind of small, but it's okay. And I might get onto talking about the storyline of the Goths because I think it's pretty interesting. So basically, the Sims franchise is on this whole universe storyline thing, except for The Sims 4, which is on an alternate universe, which is interesting. But the Goths are really famous amongst the community. To me, Bella Goth is kind of the main character. Her best friend is Mortimer Goth when she's a kid in the first Sims game, and obviously she ends up marrying him later, which I think is the cutest trope ever. It's childhood best friends to lovers. But anyways, later she has like 2 kids, Cassandra and Alexander Goth. And in the other Sims game, there's this whole storyline with Bella Goth going missing and everything, and people think that she got abducted. And it's really sketchy because in that game, I believe it's The Sims 2, her daughter Cassandra was engaged to Don Lothario, and I think he tried to cheat on Cassandra with Bella, and later she went missing, and her last known location obviously was on Don's property, which is really sketchy. And the next day or so, the Calientes showed up in town, which is even weirder, and the whole story is like really shady and sketchy. But yeah, that's really what's known about Bella. And then no one knows why she goes missing. I think she shows up later in like Strange Town, where she has like no recollection of anything, no memories, and it's really weird. And it's just an interesting storyline, I think. And I don't know, it just sucks to me that nothing from The Sims 4 is like shown relating to the other Sims game. Like the first Sims and the first, second, and third are all related. I think the third one is in a past timeline. It's just like this whole thing. But yeah, it just sucks because The Sims 4 is on an alternate storyline, which isn't totally terrible, but it kind of sounds like an excuse to not continue the storyline, in my opinion. But yeah, basically this is kind of nearing the end of the interior. If you can see, like, I've finished all the bedrooms and stuff. I just made it look kind of similar to how it was in the other house, but I think I gave Alexander more stuff. I tried to give him more toys and things to do because his room seemed kind of boring before, and I kind of wanted to make it more kid-like because in the other house it seemed like already pretty mature, but in my opinion he seems like a kid. So I tried to give him more toys and like stuff to do. And with Cassandra, I tried to give her more instruments. I gave her the violin because I think she already has that skill, and I put a guitar in her room. I don't think she has the guitar skill, but I think she has like the muser aspiration. So yeah, I just put that there if she wants to play the guitar. I don't know. She also has like the piano in the hallway that she can play on, I guess. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I didn't make the house as big as the other house because I kind of wanted to use like more expensive furniture to make it look more luxurious, and I also wanted to have space for a backyard because in the other Sims game they had like a kind of like a graveyard in their backyard, but in this house and in this like storyline and everything they didn't have one. I kind of wanted to replicate that, so I did that in this house. I kind of put a patio in the backyard, but I made it smaller so there'd be space for the graveyard. And I kind of tried to make it look slightly dead, like they didn't really take care of their garden. I don't know, they kind of give me that vibe that they don't really care about greenery or anything like that. And I try to make it look slightly spooky because it kind of gives me that gothic vibe. And I use like some black patio chairs and benches and things like that. And I also ended up adding some of that on the balconies and the deck. I didn't do too much landscaping. I didn't even put flowers. I don't think their other house had flowers, that's why, and I kind of want to go for that dead look. That's also why I'm building in the winter. It kind of had that vibe. So I just put like bushes and rocks. I think I also put, I might have put rose bushes in the front because I wanted a little bit of color in the other seasons, but other than that, it's just bushes and rocks and dirt. And yeah, I think this is nearing the end of the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't really talk about the build too much because it's kind of self-explanatory. It's kind of similar to the original, and I hope you guys like the screenshots. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and comment.